Let's dive a bit deeper into how it all works. According to the plate tectonics theory, these massive lithospheric plates are all moving in different ways, and how they interact with one another can have a huge impact on the Earth. Where these plates meet are called boundaries, and there are three kinds. Convergent boundaries occur when two plates are moving towards one another. Transform boundaries occur when two plates are sliding past one another, and divergent boundaries occur when two plates are moving away from one another. Let's take a closer look at what happens at each of these boundaries. As we said, convergent boundaries are when plates are moving towards one another. When the two plates collide, a couple of things can happen. One of the plates will dive under the other plate. It's usually the heavier, denser crust that dives under the lighter crust. This creates what is called a subduction zone. And the deeper under the Earth's surface that plate goes, the more pressure it creates. That pressure, coupled with a high heat, causes the crust to melt, forming magma. The magma presses up towards the surface, and voila, you've got a volcano. An example of this is the Ring of Fire, which is an active ring of volcanoes that encircles the Pacific Ocean. The other thing that can happen when two plates press into one another at a convergent boundary is the rock above the boundary will be lifted up or folded and form mountains. Ever hear of the Himalayas? That's an example of two tectonic plates colliding. And because the plates continue to move, the peaks in this mountain range continue to grow. For example, Mount Everest, which currently measures around 29,000 feet, grows around an inch every year. So as you could imagine, it takes thousands of years for these mountains to form. But although movement at convergent boundaries is usually gradual, as pressure underground builds, the impact above ground can be quick and violent. Fast movement or slipping of the land can result in earthquakes, either above ground or under the ocean. And convergent boundaries aren't the only type of boundary that can result in earthquakes. At transform boundaries, the Earth's plates are sliding past each other in opposite directions, which creates a crack or fault in the Earth's crust. As the plates try to move, they rub against one another, resulting in the building up of pressure. If the plates are stuck for a long period of time, the pressure will continue to build at the fault line until eventually it releases, resulting in an earthquake. The San Andreas Fault System is one of the largest transform boundaries in the world, which is why that area has more than its fair share of seismic activity. That just leaves divergent boundaries. Like we mentioned before, divergent boundaries occur when plates are moving away from one another. Either the space between the two plates widens and becomes a large crack or rift, such as the East African Great Rift Valley that runs from Lebanon to Mozambique, or if the space between the two plates is under the ocean, where the crust is thinner, magma oozes up from the Earth's mantle and fills the space. This is called seafloor spreading. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is an example of where seafloor spreading has occurred. The crust under the ocean pulled apart, allowing magma to fill the space between, creating the tallest and longest mountain chain in the world.